stand with us. Mr. Robert Howell will lead us in the invocation, and Ms. Amanda Brooks will lead us in the pledges.
Item number 4 on the agenda, canvass ballots and declare results for the May 4th, 2024 trustee election. I will call out each election result by county, starting with Liberty County. Liberty County for the Cleveland Independent School District trustee, position 1. The total votes cast were 402, with Bethany Porter receiving 261 votes and Aaron Montes Nieto 141 votes. The county reports there were 20 undervotes. For Cleveland Independent School District trustee position 2, Shaquille Shaq Sampson received 313 votes. There was no opponent, and there were 109 undervotes. Liberty County Cleveland Independent School District trustee position 3, Chris Wood received 186 votes. Jennifer Pena 222 votes for a total of 408. There were 14 undervotes. In San Jacinto County, CISD trustee position 1, Aaron Montes Nieto received 5 votes. Bethany Porter received 18 votes for a total of 23. CISD position 2, Shaquille Shaq Sampson received 18 votes for a total of 18, and there were 5 undervotes. CISD position 3, Chris Wood received 15 votes. Jennifer Pena received 8 votes for a total of 23, and no undervotes. And in Montgomery County, CISD position 1, Aaron Montes Nieto received 0 votes. Bethany Porter received 2 votes for a total of 2. CISD Position 2, Shaquille Shaq Sampson received 1 vote for a total of 1, and there was 1 undervote. And CISD Position 3, Chris Wood received 1 vote. Jennifer Pena received 1 vote for a total of 2 with no undervotes. The overall winners of the election in Position 1 is Bethany Porter. In Position 2 is Shaquille Shaq Sampson. And in Position 3 is Jennifer Pena, the cumulative votes from all 3 counties.
All right, do I have a motion to canvass the votes and declare the results of the May 4th trustee election?
So offer.
Motion from Willie. Have a second, please? Second. Second from Robert. Any questions or discussion? If not, all those in favor? Motion passes 6-0.
The next item on the agenda is the certificates of election, statement of elected officers, and oath of office for elected candidates. Before we do that, we will be honoring our outgoing board members to recognize them for their years of service, and they will be receiving a plaque for their service. So board members, when I call your name, and the good thing about after they get this plaque, they can go home and watch TV. When I call you down front, if you'll come down to the table. Mr. Chris Wood. As he comes down here, I'll read the flag. Chris Wood, in recognition of and appreciation for your faithful service as a member of the Board of Trustees of the Cleveland Independent School District from the year 2000 to 2024. 24 years. Chris Wood served as our president during the current board. The current vice president is not with us. She is watching us, but we're going to honor her as well. Kelly Jinko Axton, in recognition of and appreciation for your faithful service as a member of the Board of Trustees of the Cleveland Independent School District. She served from 2012 to 2024. That's 12 years of service. Mr. Robert Howell. In recognition of and appreciation for your faithful service as a member of the Board of Trustees of the Cleveland Independent School District. This plaque says 2021 to 24, but we all know he served another term for 3 years, so he has a total of 6 years that he served as a board member. Mr. Howell. At this time, the next item on the agenda is certificates of election, statement of elected officers, and oath of office. Ms. Billingsley, if you will come up to the table, she will be swearing in and given the oath to the new board members. After she does that, y'all will come up and take the seat of the position that you won. And you should know who that is. If not, Willie can help you with that one. All right, we will move forward. In absence of a board president, the superintendent will step in for the next item on the agenda. Item 7, consider reorganization of the board. At this time, I will open the floor for nominations of a board president. Once they vote and select a new board president, that board president will be seated to my left, and then the board president will finish the nominations for vice president and a secretary. So, board, the floor is open for nominations for a president.
I nominate Willie Carter for president.
Any other nominations? With no other nominations, the board needs to vote, and yes, it is unopposed, but you still need to raise your hand voting for the one president nominee, Willie Carter. Six, zero. 7-0 in support of Willie Carter for president. Well, Ms. Pena, you got to sit next to me for a little while, so Willie's going to come over.
First of all, I'd like to say thank to the board for giving me this opportunity to serve you as the president of the board. And I can promise you that I will give you my very, very best for the next year to come. At this time, we'll entertain a motion for nomination for vice president. And just for FYI, all new board members, you do have the right, as all other board members, to vote as well.
Yes. Nominate or vote, yes.
I nominate Amanda Brooks for vice president.
Nomination for Ms. Brooks for president, vice president. Be no other nominations for vice president. All in favor of Ms. Brooks, raise your hands, please. 7-0. Ms. Brooks is now our vice president. Next, we entertain a motion for secretary.
Nominate Wendy McNair.
Ms. Wendy McNair has been nominated for secretary. Any other nomination? There be no other nominations. All in favor, please raise your hand. Thank you, board. Thank you, Ms. Brooks. Thank you, Ms. McNair. All right.
We're ready?
Yes, sir.
Next item on the agenda is public comments open forum. We have two people who have signed up to speak tonight for their 3 minutes. Once I call you up to the podium, the president will tell you the rules of speaking at open session. The first person is Betsy Witten. All right, come on up, ma'am. Betsy Witten is with the Red Cross America. The secretary will let you know when you can start, and you'll have 3 minutes.
Good evening, ma'am. Welcome to our board meeting. If you'd be so kind as to give your name, position that you represent, and you have 3 minutes, and please be aware that we can only listen to what you have to offer. We cannot make decisions or discuss what it is that you're bringing before the board at this time. Ms. McNair, let me know when you're ready.
Time starts now.
My name is Betsy Whithone, and I'm the job director for the Red Cross Response Operations serving the community, the County of Liberty, and as well as the surrounding counties that have incurred this devastating flooding. I'll tell you that we are as concerned about the people that live in this county. Well, we are extremely concerned about the folks that live in this county and are impressed with the compassion that has been shown them to date. There may be questions about why a shelter at Pine Burr. The two facilities right now are no longer available. We looked with the commissioner. We looked for 30 different sites in the county. We have folks down at Calvary Baptist and at Jack Hurdle. Those facilities are no longer available after tomorrow. And with the compassion of the school district opened its arms for a building that's not being used. Let me tell you about how we run a shelter and who's in the shelter. When somebody comes to a shelter, they go through registration. We find out who they are. If somebody is required to register, there's a question, are you required to register? And if they are, they know if they are. If they do, if they are required, then we let law enforcement know and let it be to them to just give us how they would like that handled. In a shelter, we know the folks that are coming here. They have lived with us for the last couple weeks. They don't have a place to go home. There's no one in our shelter that wants to be in a shelter. Who wants to sleep on a cot? These are people whose homes are still flooded, whose homes have been washed away, whose homes have been so damaged they can't live in them, or have so much debris in them that they can't go until they are cleaned. And we are going to be helping them. When you live in a shelter, there is a supervisor and service associates there
1 minute warning.
24 hours a day. And there are also police officers that are providing security. When you live in a Red Cross shelter, and we've run many in schools, there's no alcohol, there's no firearms, there are no knives, there's no weapons, there's no drugs. And so if someone chooses to do that, then they lose the invitation to stay in the shelter. The people are expected to behave and respect each other because this is their home. It's a safe haven for them to be in. And we have security, and Pine Burr is where where you all have been. Mr. McCandless has been so kind to open up. What kinds of people? They're your neighbors. They're your friends. You may have a friend that's in the shelter. These are the citizens, the wonderful citizens of this county that have no place to go. Homeless, you may wonder if we have homeless.
Time has expired.
What did you say? Thank you. Thank you so much. No homeless are coming.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
The next person who signed up to speak for 3 minutes is Obed Garcia, also with the Red Cross. Mr. Obed, if you'll come to the podium.
If you give your name and represent who you represent,
Yes,
please be aware you have 3 minutes. We can listen to you, but we cannot make a discussion on what you're about to bring before us tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Time starts now.
So my name is Obed Garcia. I'm the Deputy Director for Operations. Mi nombre es Obed García y yo soy parte de la Cruz Roja Americana. La razón por qué estamos aquí, estamos tratando de ayudar a las familias que han estado impactadas de las lluvias, personas que han tenido que salirse de su casa, y por eso es que estamos aquí. ¿Quiénes son estas personas? Son personas de su comunidad, personas que necesitan ayuda, personas que son vecinos de ustedes probablemente, pero son personas. Una de las preguntas eran, podemos tener drogas, puede haber alcohol. Nada de esas cosas pueden estar en nuestros albergues. Nuestros albergues, cuando personas entran, se tienen que registrar con nosotros y checamos quiénes son los que están. Son personas que están invitadas para estar con nosotros. Son personas que no tienen un lugar en donde estar y por eso es que vienen a los albergues de la Cruz Roja. Son personas de su comunidad. Nosotros estamos aquí para ayudarles en conjunto con ustedes y gracias por la escuela que nos dieron la oportunidad de estar aquí. Una de las preguntas era, ¿por qué es que estamos aquí? ¿Por qué es que no fuimos a otros lugares? Sí hemos estado en otros lugares, pero durante el año las cosas que hacemos nosotros es buscamos lugares en donde podemos abrir albergues. No son de nosotros, pero son, si nos dicen, no pueden estar aquí, no podemos abrir, tenemos un evento, perfecto, buscamos el siguiente lugar. Gracias a la escuela pudimos abrir en este lugar para poder tener a las personas de la comunidad de ustedes ahí en ese lugar. So, les damos muchas gracias. Una de las otras preguntas eran, ¿quiénes son las personas que están ahí? ¿Cómo es que las estamos vigilando? Igualmente, por la policía que está ahí, tenemos policías durante el día y tenemos policías en la noche. So, siempre hay alguien que está vigilando. Nosotros también tenemos personas de la Cruz Roja que están adentro de los albergues, que están
1 minute
vigilando
warning.
y viendo qué es lo que están haciendo las personas. Son invitados, son personas de su casa, ¿ok? Queremos que se sientan a gusto, pero también, como si yo voy a su casa de ustedes, me tengo que comportar bien. Es lo mismo que estamos esperando de ellos. Si van a venir a nuestro albergue, les pedimos que por favor se comporten bien y si no van a seguir las reglas, bueno, no pueden estar con nosotros. Muchas gracias. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Next item on the agenda, item 9. And thank you for your comments. If they are available after the meeting, I'm sure Red Cross would answer any questions the public may have, but they may have to scoot out of here. They have shelters to run. But thank you for being here. Department recognitions, item 9. A, Fine Arts Teacher Recognition by Christy Jones. Ms. Jones, if you'll come to the podium.
Mr. McCann, per your email, we're moving that to next week.
Next week. There is no board meeting next week.
Next month.
Okay. Thank you. Item 10, presentations. We're going to move item B, which is Southside Elementary presentation by Kelly Blankenship. She has students here. We're actually going to move them up so these students can present and they don't have to sit through the update for the elementary improvement. So Ms. Blankenship, if you will come on up. Board, this is on page 25 in your board book.
Good evening. Thank you for giving us the opportunity because you know I always like to talk about Southside, all the great things that are going on. So this opportunity for us this evening, we're going to spotlight a program and a partnership that we've joined with Cycle Houston. Our second graders have had the opportunity to partner with Cycle Houston. I'm going to tell you a little bit about that because in our world as educators, we know that second grade is a critical year in terms of reading acquisition. And so we've partnered with Cycle Houston. You want to spin it, Matt? Oh, I click it? Okay. Here we go. All right. I'm just going to slide through. So what we've done is partnered with Cycle Houston. Ms. Durst has partnered with them in the past, and when she joined us, she connected us with Cycle Houston again for our second graders. This is Miss Davis, Miss Deborah Davis. She is the second grade team leader, and she has done so much in terms of making sure that our paperwork is completed and that she's worked with these children. We had some more children, but as you all know, when we have weather in our world, some of our kiddos can't get back up. So we have 3 of the 5 kiddos here to tell you a little bit about their experience and what they have kind of gained in terms of our relationship with Cycle Houston. Let me tell you really quickly what happens. When we meet with Cycle Houston, we go back and each of our individual teachers meets with kiddos, and they determine a reading goal for them over a course of time. And once their goal is met, they receive a bike at the end of their goal. So all of our second graders have met their goal, and they have all received, where am I pointing? There we go. And we have partnerships with some of the folks that are, I guess they're vendors that we use, and we've partnershiped with them to help with things like delivery. And there's us unloading our bikes. Student council help with that. They all get helmets, of course, because we want to keep them all safe. There's Mr. McCandless and his really cool glasses on the day that we delivered bikes. So I want these guys to come and tell you a little bit about their experience. Ready, buddy?
Psycho Houston is an organization that helps students grow as readers by offering incentives such as bicycles. Psycho Houston helped me grow as a reader by rewarding my efforts. We would like Psycho Houston to continue coming to Southside to encourage students to grow as readers.
All right. Thank you for giving us a moment because it's a really great program. They did a wonderful job. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Blankenship and Southside students. Y'all did a fabulous job. We're going to continue with student presentations, and we will do item C, Northside Elementary Showcase by Principal Rebecca Smith, and she has some students as well. That way, if they need to go, they can leave after the presentation.
Okay, you go first. You start reading.
Right now.
You have to read loud.
Good evening, board presidents, board members, and Mr. McCandless. This evening, Northside Elementary would like to showcase some of our students. First off, we have some GT projects to share with you. These students were given directions to invent or create a project that can help the earth. Let's hear from our GT inventors.
A device to prevent what?
Oh, oil spills. All right. All right. Thank you, Betty. Put them at the mic. Yeah. Yeah, put them at the mic.
I know, because they
Speak to the
were a little
microphone.
nervous to speak in the microphone.
That's okay.
Okay. Okay, tell
Come on, Jade.
tell them your name and what grade you're in.
My name is Jade. I'm in the 3rd grade, and
What's your project?
my project is about the No More Junk Mail bill to prevent as many trees getting cut down every single day, and it's keeping the air from being as much polluted as it is now. And it's also wasting the gas because the mailmen are having to deliver the mail to you, and it
Anything else?
That's it? Thank you, Jade.
So now up we have our honors choir students.
So now up we have our honors choir students.
Let's let her, she's got to say what the song that they're doing. And I'll help you. You ready for her to start? Yes. Okay, go ahead.
Good evening. We are some of the students from the Northside Honor Choir. Tonight we will be performing the song De Colores. De Colores is a traditional Spanish language folk song associated with Mexican folklore. The lyrics speak of the joyous sounds and bright colors of all creation. Of colors, are the fields dressed in spring. Of colors, are the little birds that come from outside. Of colors, is the rainbow that we see shining. The rooster sings with a cock-a-doodle-doo. The hen, with a cluck, 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 cluck. The chickens, with a peep, 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 peep. And that is why the great love of many colors is what I like, and that is why the great love of many colors is what I like. We hope you enjoy our performance.
Come here so we can see. loves the microphone. Here, wait till they can hear you. Okay.
Right now. Thank you for allowing us time to showcase just a few of our fabulous students at Northside, where the compass always points north.
All right.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Thank you, Northside. Excellent job. We will now move back to item A, the elementary improvement update presented by Jana Richmond, Christoph Cupio, Kelly Blankenship, Salinas Rivera, and Stacy Bond Hunt. It can be found on page 6 in your board book.
Greetings, board members, and congratulations to our new board members. Thank you for this time, and Superintendent McCandless. Thank you for this time. My colleagues and I are here to present the elementary school improvement update. For the benefit of our new members, there have been several board presentations regarding our Cleveland ISD school improvement processes this far. This includes a presentation that was shared at the March board meeting regarding federal accountability. Don O'Connor has also made a presentation regarding our annual report, as well as presentations that you've received from Dr. O'Neill and Ms. Ritchie regarding school improvement and federal accountability. Additionally, you've received information regarding our path to school improvement with a presentation by Ms. Castillo from Cleveland Middle. And joining her was Mr. McDonald from Santa Fe Middle regarding their goals and action steps that they are putting into place. So we're going to begin the evening with introductions. My name again is Kelly Blankenship. I'm the principal at Southside Elementary.
Good evening. I'm the principal at Eastside Elementary, Jana Richmond.
Good evening. I'm the assistant principal of operations at Northside Elementary, Christoph Suppiel.
Good evening. My name is Stacy Vaughn, and I'm the principal at Santa Fe Elementary.
And my name is Salinas Rivera. I'm the principal from Pineburg.
So we're going to begin with targeted support. East Side, North Side, and South Side. We've all been identified as a school in need of targeted support due to having some subgroups of students labeled consistently underperforming for 3 consecutive years. This is based on 22-23 STAR scores. And targeted support status has a required 1-year term once our school enters this level of intervention.
And I have the distinct pleasure of being identified as comprehensive support, which means that our campus was in the bottom 5% of all Title I campuses of elementary schools across the state of Texas. This was also based on the 22-23 STAR scores, and this is the first year of 2 of the comprehensive support. As soon as we get our STAR scores at the end of this year, I feel confident that we will have our growth that we need, and that at the end of next year, we will exit this status.
So on the slide that you see now, you'll see the subgroups of students that have been consistently underperforming. And so you'll see the South Side group, the Pineburg group, and we're just going to give you guys a minute to just look at it. If you have any questions, we certainly would be willing to answer those questions. But South Side and Pineburg, and then the consistently underperforming student groups for North Side and East Side.
Are you taking questions now or at the end?
At the end, if you don't mind.
Okay.
So the essential school framework levers have been identified through an ESF diagnostic or a needs assessment. So the levers that you see there are the essential actions that have been selected. So essential action 1.1 is developing campus instructional leaders with clear roles and responsibilities. North Side and South Side have selected essential action 1.1.
And
And Eastside is going to focus on Essential Action 1.2, compelling and aligned mission, vision, goals, and values focused on a safe environment, high expectations, and rigorous instruction.
Northside will also focus on Essential Action 3.1, which is positive school culture, explicit school-wide expectations, and cultural routines.
So then all elementaries for Cleveland, we're going to focus on Essential Action 5.1, which is effective classroom routines and instructional strategies.
So along with the essential action, we've developed desired annual outcomes. So for 1.1, which is developing campus instructional leaders with clear goals and responsibilities, Northside, Southside, and Pineborough have developed the following goal, which is by May of 2025, 90% of our campus leadership team, which is principal, assistant principals, and instructional coaches, will have built their capacity and developed clear roles and responsibilities. This is going to be evidenced by weekly leadership team meetings and core leadership tasks that are scheduled on weekly calendars. The action steps that will go into supporting Lever 1.1 are to develop a leadership team document with clear roles and responsibilities, train leadership team on how to develop their capacity as instructional leaders, train leadership team on how to prioritize and schedule tasks on their weekly calendars, and then partner with a strategic leadership team at Region 4 to provide instructional leadership support, and that's happening at Pineborough and Southside.
So the action step for, the desired annual outcome, which are our goals at Santa Fe Elementary, is that by May of 2025, we will refine the roles and responsibilities for the existing member and the new members of our ILT, our instructional leadership team, because as you guys know, we've restructured for next school year, and there will be new instructional coaches on the team, and therefore they will need to be trained and get on board as we develop new protocols and processes to use so that we can lead our departments and other instructional responsibilities for the team. And the way that we're going to do this is to provide our instructional leadership team with the book Win Time. Win stands for what I need, and we will utilize it as a book study and a guiding document. We plan to hold a 3-day workshop this summer to create protocols, structures, and guiding documents for the school year. And the way that we'll ensure that we're doing this is we will monitor through at least 18 checkpoint meetings and calibration reports throughout the year.
So starting last October, all campus principals and certain APs and instructional coaches attended the Effective Schools Framework training that was provided by Region 4. For short, it's the ESF. The ESF was developed using research from the best performing schools to create a clear vision for what districts and schools across the state do to ensure excellent education for all Texas students. In December, Pineborough, Santa Fe Elementary, and Eastside started with the academic review. We then moved to a virtual pre-visit and a campus visit where Region 4 conducted our diagnostic. They came on campus, they did walkthroughs, and performed interviews with leadership team, teachers, and instructional coaches. From there, they did interviews to find our strengths and weaknesses on each campus. From there, we had a virtual post-visit to determine the outcomes of our diagnostic and narrow the focus on which of these essential actions that each campus would focus on. These essential actions we picked would help our schools grow the most and the fastest, basically the biggest bang for our buck. So Northside and Southside will undergo the diagnostic in fall of 2024. However, they perform the needs assessment to determine their focus area.
Present yours for Eastside.
There we are. I was like, that's not right. That was the wrong slide. I'm sorry. 1.2, align mission, vision, and goals. So for Eastside's desired outcome on 1.2. So by May 2025, we will establish a robust system for assessing and refining our mission, vision, core values, and objectives, ensuring alignment with thorough research and tangible evidence in 90% of our classrooms. This will be evidenced through the use of rubrics and surveys to track the integration of these principles into our educational practices and student achievements. We will do this by creating a committee to analyze our mission, vision, core values, and objectives, create a rubric to evaluate alignment between the mission and vision with our daily practices, create student, parent, and staff surveys to obtain input from all stakeholders, and partner with Miller Educational Consulting to develop campus mission, vision, and goals.
So Northside will also focus on Lever 3.1, which is positive school culture, school-wide expectations, and culture routines. So our desired annual outcome will be by May 2025, 100% of all staff members will be trained in school-wide procedures and systems that are clearly defined and warrant a positive, productive, and safe learning environment for all students. This will be evident by the reduction of student behavior incidents and the ability for all educators on campus to be able to articulate student and adult expectations and implement best practices provided in training and coaching sessions. And our action steps to support 3.1 are to adopt a behavior intervention program, implement a behavior charting system, develop and implement a campus-wide positive behavior incentive system, provide professional development focused on classroom management, and foster an environment that cultivates a sense of belonging for all staff members and students through setting high expectations, soliciting and responding to student and staff member feedback.
And then 5.1, effective instruction for our desired annual outcome for Eastside, Northside, and Southside. By May 2025, our campus leadership team will provide training and support to 100% of teachers in implementing checks for understanding and instructional strategies, specifically teachers asking intentional, open-ended questions, soliciting student responses to assess what students learn and can apply and analyze via exit tickets. This will be evidenced by weekly lesson plan checks and classroom observations by the leadership team. And again, how will we know we are successful? Here are our action steps. To train teachers on how to develop lessons and check for understanding, intentional open-ended questions with exit tickets from the curriculum guides, train teachers on how to implement the district-developed curriculum guides in Canvas, schedule classroom visits on weekly calendars to observe and calibrate with team to align feedback to lesson planning and intentional open-ended questioning, use data trackers to show levels of teacher implementation, of check for understanding, intentional open-ended questions, and exit tickets. And if awarded the ESF targeted grant through TEA, all campuses will partner with a TEA vetted vendor to support 5.1.
Heimbur and Santa Fe Elementary by May of 2025 through under effective instruction, 80% of our teachers will show proficiency in high-level questioning as evidenced by classroom observation and constructive responses. So how will we know we're successful? First, we need to provide PD to our campus leadership, our teachers, on the implementation of high-level questioning strategies in daily instruction, develop a rubric to track the quality of the questions, and then conduct a minimum of 3 walkthroughs per week. Of course, we can do more, but a minimum of 3 to observe the implementation of the high-level questioning. And as referred to earlier, back in March, Ms. Brinkman applied for the ESF School Improvement Grant. The objective of this grant is to provide support across all campuses that are in this process for 5.1 or effective instruction. This would require for us, if we receive this grant, which we should know by the 22nd, which is next Wednesday, if we receive this grant, it would require for us to work with a vetted provider. We have already been, TEA approved, vetted provider, and we've already been interviewing some of those folks so that we know exactly what that they have to offer and how they can help us. And the grant will cover the cost of this for 2 years. So Ms. Karen, don't have a heart attack. We're not going to take any money out of your pocket. I know that we're in a little budget crunch here, but we will utilize the monies from this grant to be able to do that. So thank you for your time, and we appreciate you.
I have several questions. Okay. Let's see, where do I want to start? Okay, Ms. Bonhunt.
Yes, ma'am.
You said you wanted the instructional coaches to quote-unquote "get on board." Is that with district-wide policies or your campus-specific policies?
What I was speaking of, I probably misspoke in my verbiage, but for everybody to be on the same page as far as the instructional leadership team goes, because we have new coaches on our campus, or we will, we don't have them yet. And so we all want to be rowing in the same direction, looking at the same thing.
And what are we rowing towards? What are we
We
getting
are
on board
rowing
with?
towards whatever documents are developed through the Effective Schools Framework.
I also, this is kind of to everybody, I see a lot of, if we get this grant, we'll pay for this. If we have Miller, again, which is of course at the pleasure of the board, because we will approve or not approve that, what's your backup plan if you don't have those tools?
I don't have Miller. Who's Miller? I was like, I don't know who Miller is.
So, luckily, yes, Miller.
Okay, I'm
So if we do not get this grant, I know, I mean, and I can only speak for Eastside here, I have been blessed to work at Region 6 previously coming here. And I've had, you know, the benefit of rolling out a lot of these programs for school improvement. And so I know for Eastside, I plan on rolling out, and we've already started little bitty bits of it, just not a lot, of rolling out a lot of what the TEA vetted vendor would provide. So hopefully we get the grant so we can have some support, because all the help, you know, more hands on deck, so we can all get going in the same direction. But as far as Eastside is concerned, and I will share the wealth with any of my colleagues that I have, you know, we have the documents and stuff to move us forward.
Northside, you said that you wanted a positive behavior reinforcement. Are y'all not currently using PBIS? Where is your failure at it if it's not working?
We currently are using PBIS. We use the CHAMP system, but I mean, we can always improve and get better. And as you know, we will have new campus leadership, so my job as the assistant principal is just to follow her vision and support her.
You also referenced a behavior charting system. What does that entail?
Again, I'm going to have to refer that to the new campus principal. Hopefully, you know, with her vision, we can develop something along the lines of that.
And then at one point, it was referenced, not Northside specific. I think it actually, no offense, Ms. Bonhunt, I think you're back in the hot seat. I think you referenced providing PD. I believe that was you. Who is providing the PD? What specific PD are you having to provide? Are you not already getting that support? And if so, what additional do you need? And if not, why not?
We are training on just the high-level questioning. Like I said, we were going to do a 3-day workshop this summer with the instructional leadership team to develop a protocol so that we can have high-level questioning in our classroom based on the standards from the state of Texas. And we'll use the sentence stems that are already provided through the curriculum department. As you may or may not know, we have a very young staff that's very, very new, and our teachers are still like kind of at a basic level. And so we need to up the ante, because we're not ever going to get where we need to be if we don't do that. So that's going to require some training, both of the teachers, and then what are you looking for when you walk into a classroom with the leadership team, so that we're all looking for the same thing.
And who is providing this training?
Well, we're going to reach out to curriculum. We're going to reach out to every resource that we can possibly get, again, depending on what we get as far as if we get the grant or not. So we may have to use all the free resources there are out there, or anybody that wants to, you want to run by and volunteer, we'll take you.
Okay. And that 3-day training, that's for your leadership team?
Yes, ma'am.
So when are the classroom teachers receiving that training?
Whenever we go back to school.
So during that 9 days of professional development?
Yes, ma'am.
And then are y'all working in tandem with special programs and CNI to make sure that district-wide goals are being met and that we're not kind of going off and doing our own thing?
I think we haven't yet, but we are going to. So this is the plan that we have moving forward. So as soon as we wrap up this year, we'll start meeting with all the rest of our colleagues to set those plans in place and that we're all working together.
I mean, I don't know if I speak for the rest of the board, but I do know whenever we're looking at these and we're talking about students specifically not reaching their academic goals, but then we're being told more about what leadership's going to receive and less about what the classroom teacher is receiving, I do have concerns, but I am looking forward to watching you overcome those.
Thank you. Thank you.
I do have one question. From the beginning of the year to now, academically, on all of the campuses that's being represented here, where do we stand? As for progress. I mean, I know you implemented new programs and new things, but I'm just kind of concerned from the beginning of the year to now, have we moved forward? Are we kind of stagnant, or exactly where are we?
Like, are your CBA showing growth?
So I know based off of our benchmark data that we had, and we plugged it in to the lead forward template, basically that projects to see if
Right.
we are on target or not, we have made growth and we are pushing in the right direction.
Okay, to follow up on Mr. Carter's question, so I know that there's campus-based assessments, which your campus develops, as well as district-wide. Are you seeing the same numbers on your campus testing as you are in your district testing, or are we having some kind of issue with the two? So like if, for example, I asked to see your test scores, are we going to see the growth in the same places? Or we're doing really great on CBAs but not doing so great on district-wide, or vice versa?
Well, they're two different things. When you talk about CBA, you're talking about typically something that's been taught. And then sometimes when you talk about a district assessment, it can be cumulative. So it depends on what you're looking for in terms of comparing apples to apples. So I can speak for myself, but my data has, my students have made considerable progress over the course of the year.
On both
On
the
both.
STAR RIN,
Yes.
all the different programs we have, as well as the district-created resources. Okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you all so much. Nothing else, Mr. President?
No, there be nothing.
All right, the next item on the agenda is item 11, construction update. Board, I'm asking that we table the construction update until the next board meeting. Item 12, reports under superintendent's report. I do want to call up our director of GT Dyslexia at Risk and the McKinney-Vento. Ms. Smith is going to give us an update on our recent flood situation and the numbers that we have here in the district.
I'll be glad to. So I was glad to see Red Cross here and giving us an update about our shelter. So far to date, and Ms. Brinkman doesn't even know this, so I apologize. As of before the board meeting, we have 49 students who qualify as experiencing homelessness. That's out of those 49 students, that's 23 families that we are reaching out to provide additional services. Ms. Brinkman and myself are working with our McKinney-Vento grant to offer our parents some emergency food, some emergency clothing. But we still have several families and students that I'm working on processing the paperwork. Trying to get a hold of the families in the last couple of weeks have been very transient. We've had everywhere where some of our parents were living in hotels till now they're living with a relative, or maybe they were living in the shelter versus living in their car. So we've had some really unique situations. Every campus I know has had donations of clothing, and we're reaching out to our specific students on campus to offer the parents a time to come up and to replace some of those clothing that they have lost in the disaster. And then we also, at the district level, because I'm at the campus level now, back and forth, but we did have the food drive down at the north and the south for our families as well. But these numbers are going to grow as the families are coming in and filling out what we call a new student residency questionnaire. And I'm working closely with the transportation department to make sure that we have the students on the right bus within Cleveland ISD. But do know we have several families that are living outside of Cleveland ISD. And what that means for our students, that are identified as McKinney-Vento is they have a right to finish out school here, and we want them to. So I get with Ms. Ellsbury at Transportation. She's the McKinney-Vento coordinator for transportation. And Cleveland ISD provides one way for that student, and the district that they currently reside in provides another. So just know if someone asks you, it takes coordination, and it takes days for us to coordinate that with another school district. And usually the school district they reside in currently does the AM route, and Cleveland ISD will do the afternoon route. But if I had to guess offhand, I would say we have about 10 situations that students are living outside of our district right now. So we are trying to get them back into school, and then, of course, with the flood, we have families that have lost transportation to get their kids here to school. So we're working on that very closely. But right now, we have 23 families that we are going to provide some additional emergency clothing and food. And they'll get to pick out the needs that they need right now, cleaning supplies and so forth through that.
I just want to commend you. I know you're wearing like 5 different hats right now. You are helping out at Northside. You're
Yes,
dealing
ma'am.
with a natural disaster. You
Yes,
also have end of the year GT, everything to do. So I want to commend you for a job very well done.
Thank you.
Are these, some of these students, are these the ones who are residing in our Pine Burr shelter?
Well, I can speak for right now. We have one family that I know of. We did have some that were staying there, but they have found additional housing with relatives or friends.
Okay, and is there anything else you need?
Just time, I guess. I just want to make sure that our kids here in Cleveland are taken care of, and that we are providing services for our students and families, because we have some really sad situations that our students are dealing with. And know that, I know Dr. Hodges here, but our counselors are working really closely with our students that have experienced this in the last couple of weeks.
Yes.
Out of the 49 students, this is district-wide, correct?
Yes, sir.
So this is only 49 that has been reported to you that are
Right, and I'm
homeless at
still
this time.
processing paperwork. Some of the families have called, like the day we came back. I know the phones were just blowing up, and I kept telling them, I said, guys, we're gonna help everybody, but we do have a process for identifying
Right.
these students. So it's just getting the paperwork from the parents, and then the parents, right now, their address is changing because they're trying to find where they're going to be for the next 9 days, and then just trying to get that transportation for them as soon as possible.
Well, I too want to commend you and all of the CISD staff for what you've done during these trying times. I mean, you know, it's them today and us tomorrow, so you guys have done a tremendous
Right.
job, and I truly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Smith.
Yes.
Next item under the superintendent's report, we're going to recognize our attendance award. Miss, back here. Ms. Rangel and Officer Mays. They know the drill. They do this every month. So get ready for the drum roll, and we're going to see who wins.
Oh, boy.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight, we would like to recognize 2 campuses for their highest percentage on for the 5th, 6th cycle.
Put your mic down.
And yes, the percentage. Oh, it's not. I keep forgetting I'm shorter than everyone. I would like to call the campuses who are holding the title as they hold the trophy. Please come forward.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna call for the secondary campuses is Santa Fe Middle School holds the title at 94.22%.
Excuse me, Ms. Rangel, recount.
It's not your time to talk, sir. Would you like to come take a photo?
You want me to take a photo with you? Oh, my God.
Where's Matt? Cece, sorry, come on. I need someone to present it to me. Man, that's really kind of you, sir. I know you're busy back there.
This is killing me.
Did he smile? Did he smile? Okay.
Okay, and for the primary campuses, it's Southside Elementary.
No, no picture with me? Come on.
If I can do it for an Aggie, I can do it for anyone.
That's right.
Well, I'm 100%. At least this is beauty.
Yay. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank y'all so much, and principals, thank you for working on your attendance on a daily basis. We are ahead of where we were at this time last year, so keep up the great work.
Absolutely.
Next item under superintendent's report, Dr. Sanford's going to come to the podium. We want to highlight an employee who went above and beyond during the recent flood, and she'll tell you about it.
We do have a slideshow to present to you, but greetings to our board president, Mr. McCandless. Over the course of the flood, and this was on the Thursday in between the Wednesday and Friday that we were out, you can see our director of transportation pictured in the slideshow as he was helping to get students off of a bus that ran off over into the side of the road there into one of the ditches. And then as soon as he got home and dried off, he got back out into a school bus to drive down to help evacuate members of the community over to the Calvary Baptist Church shelter. In the course of that, there was a dog that was a little frightened that bit him on the hand. That's why you see him probably in the next photo with his hand bandaged. But he didn't let that slow him down. He continued to go on, and we had to basically make him go and get his hand checked out. But we want to acknowledge and recognize Cody Cox with heartfelt gratitude. We extend our sincerest thanks for your invaluable contributions and commendable actions. Your bravery and compassion have made a profound difference and will be remembered for years to come. So in his absence, I will accept this for him and be sure to present it to him when he's back in the district.
So I'll share real quickly on that morning when the city manager, Mr. Swigert, called me saying, we need a school bus. Can you give us a school bus that we can put the students on and get them from the flood area over to Calvary Baptist? I contacted Cody, and I said, Cody, all you need to do is get the school bus over there. They have a driver. The city will take care of it. We're just going to loan them the bus. I should have known that Cody is not built that way. So he went above and beyond, gave up his day. He even said, well, sir, I don't know if I can get from my house in Splendora over 105. I said, well, when you get to where it's blocked by the police, tell them that the city manager, Scott Swigert, needs you to go get a bus. So I guess all that worked, but he ended up getting the bus, and he drove it all day long, back and forth, as they brought people in on airboats. They would get them on the bus. He would drive them to the shelter. Then he would come back and pick up more. That's the spirit of a Cleveland ISD staff member, and he exemplifies what all of us are about here. So thank you for honoring him for that. All right, we will move on the agenda for student enrollment and attendance rate data. Our current enrollment as of Friday, May the 10th, is at 12,291. And the district attendance rate is at 92.17. Number two, the Texas School Safety Center TEA Notice of Intruder Detection Audit. We had no findings at our latest audit, and TEA continues those monthly audits of all districts throughout the state. Number three, the Douglas Learning Academy graduation will be next Thursday, May the 23rd, 6 p.m. in the Cleveland High School Gymnasium. And number four, Cleveland High School graduation. That will be next Friday, May the 24th, 7 p.m. at the Aldine ISD M.O. Campbell Center. Number five, the TASB Summer Leadership Institute, known as SLI. That is where all board members and the superintendent go for their annual training. That is June the 12th through the 15th in San Antonio. Item B, financial reports, and item C, campus and department reports can be found on page 46 and page 83. If you have any questions, directors and principals are here for you, board members.
No questions? Entertain a motion to approve. This time we entertain a motion to approve, to accept
I so move.
by Ms. Wendy. Second by Ms. Mira. Any questions? There be no questions, all in favor? Motions 7-0? 7-0, thank you.
Item 13, this is on page 115 and 255. These are consent agenda items. I will read both, and then the board will take action. Item A, approve bills and payroll. And item B, approve the minutes of the regular meeting of April the 15th and the special meeting of April the 29th.
Entertain a motion to accept.
I so move.
By Ms. Whitney. You have a second? Are there any questions? There be no questions, all in favor? Motion passes 7-0. Mr. Superintendent.
Item 14, these are considered agenda items. I will read each one individually, and then the board will take their action. On page 269 in the board book, item A, consider approval of proposal for low attendance day waiver.
Just for FYI, we want to kind of give the new members an explanation on that before we take a vote, Mr. McCandless.
Sure. Consider approval of proposal for low attendance day waiver. The state does allow you to submit a waiver, and you compare it to the same day 1 year before. And if your attendance is lower and it meets the guidelines, then the state will give you a waiver. The actual low attendance day waiver is here. I will not read out the entire thing, but that is a summary of what it is. Basically, with the board's approval, Cleveland ISD plans to file with the Texas Education Agency for the low attendance day waiver for May the 2nd, 2024. Student attendance was extremely low on this date due to the inclement weather throughout our region.
Thank you, Superintendent. Entertain a motion to accept item A. Motion to accept. Second by Mr. Shack. Any questions? There be no questions, all in favor? Motion passes 7-0. Mr. Superintendent.
Item B, consideration and approval of a resolution to compensate employees for missed days from May 1st through May the 6th of 2024. Those days would be May 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and then Monday, May the 6th. This is on page 280. This resolution I will read. On May 1st, 2024 through May 6, 2024, severe weather impacted school communities across the state of Texas. In anticipation of the rising flooding waters, school districts in Texas, and particularly in the Region 4 area, made the decision to close school on May 1st, May 3rd, and May 6th for a variety of reasons, including flooding, safety, traffic concerns, and high absence predictions. Whereas guided by Weather Service predictions and Region 4 Executive Director, Region 4 school districts, including Cleveland ISD, made the decision to open school on May the 2nd, 2024 for a variety of reasons, including the subsiding of rainfall and flooding. Whereas the Cleveland ISD made the decision to close school on May the 1st, May the 3rd, and May the 6th in order to help ensure the safety of students, staff, families, and the community. Whereas the district made the decision to open school on May the 2nd as the rain had subsided and the waters were receding. Whereas the district will only need to make up the missed instructional minutes if the closure exceeds the additional instructional minutes embedded in the 23-24 instructional calendar. The district's Board of Trustees seeks to retain its employees and facilitate efficient operation of educational activities. And whereas the district's Board of Trustees finds that compensated employees for the work days missed as a result of the decision to close May 1st, May 3rd, May 6th in order to help ensure the safety of students, staff, families, and the community serves as an important public purpose, and that continued retention of such employees shall enable the district to continue efficient operations and educational activities. Whereas the district's Board of Trustees finds that compensated employees for the work day missed as a result of not being able to work on May the 2nd, 2024 due to road closures serves as an important public purpose, and that continued retention of such employees shall enable the school district to continue efficient operations and educational activities. What this resolution is saying is we were closed on May 1st and May 3rd. We were open on May 2nd. On May the 6th, we did have staff and students in our buildings, but we will treat it as a closure so those employees can be compensated, and their personal days will not be deducted from their balance. So that's why the resolution is worded the way it is.
You've heard the reading of the resolution. Entertain a motion to accept. Motion to accept. Have a second. Are there any questions? There be no questions. All in favor, please. Motion passes 7-0. Mr. Superintendent.
Item C on page 282 in the board book. Consider approval of Liberty County Appraisal District resolution approving the proposal to remodel real property and improvements of the Appraisal District office located at 303 Fannin Street, Liberty County, Texas. We do have a representative here from the Liberty CAD if you have any questions.
Would you please?
Hello.
Good evening.
I am Lana McCarty. I'm the chief appraiser. This is basically just my board of directors created a resolution letting all of our taxing entities know that we are planning a remodel of 303 Fannin. We have a reserve fund explicitly for this. However, the estimates are at about $550,000. And in our reserve, we currently have $515,000. So we aren't asking the entities for any additional money. We'll pull the additional funds from our current budget.
So no increase for the
Nothing.
north end of the county taxpayers,
We got it
correct?
covered. We got it covered. We saved this money for quite a while.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Entertain a motion to accept the resolution as presented.
I so move.
Thank you, ma'am. Second. Thank you. Are there any questions? There be no questions. All in favor? Motion carries. You abstaining?
You can abstain, or you can also vote not for it. So we have 6 yeses and 1 no.
Okay, we have a 6-1 vote, 6 favor, 1 against. Thank you, ma'am.
You ready?
Yes.
Item D on page 286, discussion and possible approval of overnight trip request for Cleveland High School International History Club students and sponsors to travel to Italy and Greece on June through July of 2026 to visit historical sites through the EF Educational Tours. We do have high school principal Dr. Miller here and the teacher as well. Please come up to the podium.
Hello, my name is Tristan Lambert. I'm a teacher here at Cleveland High School. Before I get started, I want to let you know public speaking is not my strong suit, so if I repeat myself or adopt like a country accent, just bear with me, it's what I do. Just a little bit about myself. My name is Tristan Lambert, Mr. Lambert, my students call me. I teach world history currently, but I started here in Cleveland in 2022 as a student teacher. Chose to stay here and see myself staying here for the foreseeable future because I've grown to love calling Cleveland my home. I am seeking the board's approval for a 2026 summer trip to Greece and Italy. This is through the EF program, Education First, and is something that is fairly new to Cleveland. This will be the third trip, I believe, through EF that we're going to be doing. It started here the summer of 22. They had a European trip. Then this year they'll be going to the Galapagos Islands. And then 2026, I'll be seeking to go to Italy and Greece. The reason for this being Ms. Shackelford and Mr. Jacobs, who are the two sponsors currently, are moving. So they have passed the helm to me, and so I'll be spearheading this for the foreseeable future, I suppose. So if you have any questions along the way, feel free to stop me, or if not, you can hold them until the end, whichever you prefer. EF is Educational First. It's a touring agency which seeks to give students across the globe opportunities to go to foreign countries and to experience some educational experiences that they wouldn't have otherwise. They have a worldwide presence. They're in a lot of different countries. Europe's one of their main destinations, and it's also one that I felt comfortable with choosing. Our location was chosen partly by my discretion and me just taking random polls from my students to see where they would want to go if they could go anywhere. The tie was between Tokyo and Italy and Greece was cheaper, so I chose that. Let's see, EF, during our trip, EF has 24 emergency support. If anything comes up, medical emergency, something either there on our trip or something back here in home, they have a hotline number that I can call at any time, and they have experts to handle any kind of situation that we run into. Moving forward, your team, so I'm the group leader as of right now. I have not chosen teacher chaperones to go yet because I'm seeking your approval before I start rolling this thing out. But for every 6 students that go, 1 teacher chaperone will be assigned. That way it's a 1-to-6 ratio. You can manage the students more easily on this trip. Naomi Jean is our representative from EF. She's the one who's been kind of introducing me to this whole program, helping me set it up. That will be switching to a different employee sometime here in the summer. But basically, any questions that I have or any questions that you have, she'll be our go-to liaison from the EF company. We will have a tour director on our tour that is assigned to our group, and that'll be our go-through. So for any emergencies, any questions, they will set that up for everything. I'm the group leader, and again, chaperones will be chosen later. Adults are technically allowed to go. Everyone has to go through a background check, so theoretically, I guess if parents wanted to go, that would be, I decided up to you, the board, to decide whether you want that or not. But if you do decide on that, they have to get a background check done first. Otherwise, all the other chaperones will be myself and other teachers. There is a general liability insurance that covers EF. It's up to $50 million. This covers medical emergencies that come up, any other third-party emergencies that come up. So they are covered. Whether this is sponsored by the district or not, I won't say sponsored is the correct word, but basically whether this is a sponsored by the district thing or not, because some other districts sponsor and some others don't. It doesn't matter. You're covered under liability insurance either way. There's also a peace of mind program if something ends up happening in Italy and Greece between now and then, which makes it feel no longer safe to travel to. We can change our destination without any additional payments needing to be made. Moving forward. Next page, affordability. So the total cost of our trip, I believe, comes out to roughly $4,500. I think it's $400. It's off by $1, $4,499. There's 2 ways that students can choose to pay through this. One's through an automatic payment plan, and the other one is basically self-funding. They can pay however much they want at any given time, so long as they meet the requirement a month before our trip gets taken. It's $95 to enroll, and it is $200 off the initial enrollment fee if they enroll within the first week. For any reason, 2 weeks after our initial enrollment, students can cancel for any time and get their money back. Canceling after that 2-week time period, there would need to be an extenuating circumstance that EF approves, a family emergency or something that happens. They can purchase additional insurance. It's $400, and that lets you cancel for any reason whatsoever at any time, whether it's the day before the trip or not. I chose this trip for several reasons. 1, affordability, and 2, I felt like both locations were safe to travel to and would provide a good historical experience for our students. I teach world history. Roman Greek history are my 2 personal favorites, and being the pillars of Western civilization, I think they'd be really interesting. I've also had a couple students express to me interest in going to see the Vatican City. Would be a good go-to spot as well. And our little crunch numbers, if you want to look, I don't have a page number, but it breaks down the itinerary somewhat. It was going to be $170 monthly for our automatic payment if they chose to enroll in that, but that was projected if we started in May. We're going to start in September most likely with the board's approval, and then it's roughly $224 a month that students would have to pay into that to go on the trip. Now our travel window is anywhere between June 20th to July 2nd, and it's a 10-day trip. So it's 1 day for flying there, 4 days in Italy, 4 days in Greece, and then 1 day flying back. Something that is unique about our trip that other trips don't have is there is an overnight ferry to get us from Italy to Greece, and that's included in it, which I thought was kind of cool. I'm scared of water, but I can get through it. Let's see, moving forward. Part of the cost of this trip, it covers all hotel stays, it covers the flight to and from, it covers all breakfasts and dinners. Lunches are on your own. So every lunch will be in some sort of city or town, and that's the time for the group leaders and their kids to go find whatever they'd like to have for lunch. Local cuisine or McDonald's, whichever one they choose. Let's see, moving forward. On this list is an example or a list of examples of possible hotels we will stay at. I'll get that official list further down the road. There will be an experience specialist. Once this gets approved and a couple months after we start the fundraising, that's when they'll actually start to break down where you're going to stay, when you're going to stay there, all the nitty-gritty details of everything. Personally, I think this is a great opportunity. Outside the military, I've never had the opportunity to travel anywhere. So, and I know a lot of our students, the students that I teach now, when this trip comes around, they'll be just graduated. So it's a good way to go explore the world a little bit, experience something new before they go into college, which is also why I chose to do it in June and not July, because I know they'll probably be preparing for the next stage of life during that time period. But if you have any questions, I can try to answer them to the best of my ability.
I have a couple of questions.
Yes, sir.
First question is total number of students.
The total what?
The total number of students that will be going?
Currently, I don't have any. I'm not ask for forgiveness instead of permission. I'm asking for permission and then forgiveness. So I'm seeking your permission now. That way I can roll it to them. I didn't want to get anybody signed up and then not get the approval for any kind of reason and then not have a way of getting their money back. So I don't have a projected number right now.
Okay.
I know that on average for the first and second trip, they've had roughly 15, a dozen to 15. So that's what I'm hoping for at the very least for our trip.
What's the criteria?
There is no criteria.
There's no criteria?
No, sir.
Okay.
But being the International History Fair, the main invitations will be sent via their history classes.
So it'll be open to all students, not just history club students?
Yes, ma'am. As long as they're
Levels or just class of 2026?
just high school. So technically, it would range from freshmen, but we're not gonna. It'll basically be sophomores through seniors, so they can sign up the school year of 25-26 if they want to fundraise that money within that 1 year. But it would be those seniors who just graduated, those current juniors and sophomores are eligible to go. I wanted to invite as many as possible. That way we can increase the likelihood of getting the necessary number of students to sign up, which is 6.
Does the cost fluctuate with the number of people enrolled to go?
No, ma'am. Cost does not fluctuate. And students will be created their own fundraising page via EF. It'll have a link and a QR code, so if they want to have family, friends donate money, they can do it via that way. But this trip does come at no cost to the district itself.
Anybody else? Good. Jack? Coach? Ms. Brooks? All right. Thank you. Doc, you want to add anything to this?
No, he did an excellent job.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you both.
Okay, you heard the presentation on item D. We entertain a motion to approve.
So offered.
Have a motion to approve. Second? Have a second. Are there any questions? There be no questions. All in favor? Motion passes 7-0. Thank you, Board.
Item E, consider approval of district budgeted purchases above $50,000 as per CH local policy. Number 1 on page 302 in the board book. Consider approval of project cart requisition for science, technology, engineering, and math STEM online textbooks. The funding source will be 410 instructional materials allotment.
Get the reading of item E, number 1 on the E. Entertain a motion.
So offered.
Have a motion. Need a second, please. Did I hear a second? Okay. Have a second. Kind of seems like we need an explanation on that, Mr. McCandless.
On this one, the curriculum department for our STEM and the online textbooks, those people who are offering this, would you please come to the podium to explain it?
This is for actually, we should have had the adoption on the agenda ahead of this. I think that got left off. But this is the current Proclamation 24 for science. And this is, we chose STEM scopes for our K through 8 and IPC, chemistry, physics.
Everyone good with that? Okay. Thank you, sir. Entertain a motion to approve. Oh, I'm sorry. Help me. All in favor? I missed that one. Motion passes 7-0. Mr. Superintendent.
Item number 2 on page 341 in the board book, consider approval of project cart requisition for supplemental social studies. The funding source is Fund 410, instructional materials allotment.
Number 2, consideration.
So offered.
Have a second, please. Second by Ms. Give it to Shaq. Second to Shaq. Any questions? So you need an explanation? There be no questions. All in favor? Motion passes 7-0.
Item number 3 on page 368, consider approval of traditional requisition for behavior software and training as per education code. The funding source is general fund special education allotment. And Ms. Wallace is here if you have questions.
Please.
I see she's bringing Ms. Parker with her.
Yes, so Emergent Tree is a software program and a training. It's a whole menu of things that we had contracted with. We started last year, and we have done that. It provides us consistency amongst all of our behavior units. That is for Tier 3 behavior and special education. So like you would think of as adaptive behavior unit. Anyway, we're renewing this year because we were very successful last year. It's really considered to be kind of a 3-year project. Like you start your training, you do in-depth training, you have the providers of Emergent Tree come back throughout the year, meeting with your campuses, meeting with your teams. We do virtual meetings with them. They provide extensive training as well as software tracking for behavior, so we can do targeted behavior and targeted interventions and find out how those kids are doing on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, and how they're tracking. And that determines what kind of support that they would need. So anyway, working with them, they felt like, and I do too, that that'll take us 3 years to kind of really get there. This is our 2nd year with them. We've made a lot of growth. We have the reports to back that up. If you care to see that, I can certainly get that for you. But we would very much like to continue with them. Also, it's very cost effective because with the consistency across the district, we're able to just be much more effective.
What grades are we talking?
This is
District-wide?
across. This is district-wide, all the way through 12th grade. Now, of course, they're going to be a little bit different,
Right.
but it's still the same framework, the same basis across the district.
I'd like to request that at the next board meeting that you bring the information that you just offered, that you don't have
Okay.
tonight. That way the board can, we approve these different entities, but very seldom are we able to see the progression that we're making. And so if you could provide us
Yeah, I
with
sure
that.
can. I would love to do that because it's
Okay.
really good.
Yeah, I would love to see that, and that would help some of our new board members as well.
Okay, I can do that. I can send it to you in a report if you would like it sooner.
I would rather you present it that way. If we have questions, that we can
Okay.
put you on the hot seat again, more or
Okay,
less.
we can do that.
Can you do that?
Absolutely, with my help.
Yes, absolutely. Okay.
This is Ginger Parker. This is one of our 2 behavior specialists for the district, and
Come on up, Ms. Parker. At the end of
yeah, so.
let us know who
And
you are.
she's the one that really works with emergent tree.
Yes. So we went to Splendora, talked to them. They've had huge success using Emergent Tree with their students. Of course, our students are way better than their students.
Okay.
I mean, we have the best students. We really do. Behaviorally, we have, some spots that are difficult, but for the most part, our kids are really rocking it, and this gives us the data to show them that they're rocking it. It lets us track that. It lets us provide reports. We can send those reports home to parents, so they're able to see how their child is doing, and we can pinpoint specifics in their day where they need extra support, and we can build that in. If they're a student with an IEP, then we just build that into their IEP.
Thank you for the explanation. Anyone else?
So I guess my only question is, you have the buy-in from your ABU teachers. They also enjoy this program, and it doesn't make their day any harder than it needs to be. It's easily used and accessed by the teachers themselves.
So actually, there is a QR code that we can send out to teachers for this. So our gen ed teachers, they're actually the ones just going in. They scan the QR code for, usually secondary uses QR codes. We're still using point sheets at elementary because, that's a little bit easier to track. But they're just writing 1 through 5. It's based on their behavior goal that we know that they're struggling with. So it's completely personalized to that student and individualized. So if the student is, say having trouble with eloping or leaving the room, we just customize the goal and they get a 1 through 5. If they have a 1, that means they left the room. If they have a 5, that means they stayed in the room and had a great day. So it also teaches the teachers how to do just some quick, like walking up to the student at the end of the day. You really did a great job today. I like how you stayed in your seat. I saw you get a little antsy. Maybe next time you can get out your fidget. And that's the end of, and that just sends them off to their next class in a good place. We kind of call it a compliment sandwich. Starts off with a compliment, give them a little feedback in the middle, and then we compliment them again, send them on their way.
There's lots of those kinds of things that provides the teachers training, the paras training, and then ultimately the kids training. Plus there's social skills aspect, both curriculum-wise and
Yes.
online. So it's the full meal deal.
And they check in, check out. They set goals each day. They can meet those goals. They can earn points and rewards. And
Now, they have a tier 1 and a tier 2 component, but we are not purchasing that. We are only doing the tier 3 and SPED.
Anyone else?
But yeah, we'll come back next time.
Yes, please. Anyone else? Thank you very much. Entertain a motion to accept. Motion, second, please. Second. Are there any other questions? There be no other questions, all in favor? Motion passes 7-0. Mr. Superintendent.
Item F on page 385, discussion and possible nomination of local school board candidates to serve on the TASB Board of Directors. TASB Region 4, position ARC. In your board book, you can see it online as well, you will notice the trustees who were seeking nomination for a director position, they met the qualifications. The ones listed for Region 4, positions A and position C. You see Rose Avalos of Aldine ISD and Tony Hopkins of Friendswood ISD.
Region 4 is our region of concern.
Correct.
Entertain a motion to approve.
There's two different ones. So, Mr. President, I move that we nominate local school board candidate Rose Avalos to serve for position A.
Okay. Motion by Ms. Brooks for position A.
A second.
Second. Any questions? There be no questions. All in favor of position A? Motion passes 7-0. Position C, entertain a motion.
Nominate Tony Hopkins to serve as position C.
Ms. Brooks for Tom Hopkins, needs a second?
I second.
Have a second. Are there any questions? There be no questions. All in favor? Motion passes 7-0. Thank you, Board. Next item is executive session pursuant to Texas Government Codes, Subchapter D, Section 551.071 and 551.072, 551.074, and 551.076. At this time, we will adjourn for executive session. Time is 7:49. We stand adjourned.
Thank you all.